There is no doubt that it was the first Legacy that began to instill love for the brand. Well, the second massively from the late 90s and early 2000s consolidated this process. And on a qualitatively different level, it has become larger, more spacious, more powerful. But the three hypostases, so diametrically opposed, are, so to speak, the tip of the iceberg. For example, both the sedan and the station wagon had aspirated with power options. And if 1.8 liters, 115 horsepower, after updating 120 horsepower, and a 2.0-liter, 2-shaft, 125 horsepower, then 135 horsepower, did not oblige to anything. Then the version of the latter with DOHC and a return of 150 to 155 forces with a mass of 300 per ton already made it possible to move at least intensively. Limited in Japan, a 2.2-liter 135 horsepower Boxer was offered. Since 1994, there has been a 2.5-liter EJ, which, however, was then still afraid of turbocharging and, in principle, strongly boosting it. First it developed 160, then 175 forces. Interesting versions were also born on their basis, like the European Hubertus, with Kengurin, known from the first generation. But, of course, turbocharged modifications, such as the green Tommykara M20TB station wagon, are the first to attract attention. Tellingly, turbo options have been around since the start of the second-generation Legacy. Yes, leaving the model out of work in the WRC, recall, the Impreza debuted a year before. To participate in the rally in all respects more successful, Subaru was not going to deprive it of its reputation as a powerful, fast and reliably driven car. So the wagon got the GTB, GTV, and GT/B spec versions, and the sedan got the GT and RS. They differed in little things. For example, GT had only automatic and leather interior, bottom left, RS right, including mechanics and seats with pronounced lateral support. All these modifications were united by the 2.0-liter EJ20, which, unlike the first-generation Legacy, this time received a twin-turbo. Before the update in 1996, this hedgehog developed 250 forces, after 260 and 280 in versions with automatic and manual transmissions. Suspension, McPherson front and rear, has undergone evolutionary changes. As before, air bellows relied on a station wagon with atmospheric engines in some cases. Transmission. Here, with the choice of gears, the situation is the same as on the first generation, and on the Impreza. No, it's still better here, thanks to the shortened wings. However, you need to get used to it. Fortunately, the combination of a high-torque engine and well-chosen gear ratios, if you, of course, do not plan to perform in drag, eliminates this problem. That is, you can linger a little when switching and for some time select a stage. The engine is forgiven. The engine, despite the red zone from 7,500 RPM and the maximum torque developed at 5,000, is good at the bottoms. Moreover, unlike units with a single turbo, the opposite does not go there, as if it were an ordinary aspirated. The small turbine, it feels like, works for 1,500 and quickly brings the engine to speed when the second unit starts to blow. Explosive pickup is predictably absent in both cases. In general, you don't experience any inferiority behind the wheel of the Legacy. On the contrary, riding with the twin-turbo has its own charm. There is no need to keep the tachometer needle in a certain range. Acceleration is predictable and spreads across the entire scale. And how Subaru shoots from 120 km/h. And for this it is not at all necessary to switch to a lower one, it is enough to stomp on the pedal. Supercharging does not affect the latter at least in any way. And in general, with two locks, the GTB rows what it needs. On not the most suitable rubber, he feels confident, allows you to set up sideways and control the skid. From the one pipe, to be honest, no omnivorousness was expected. The suspension with them is certainly stiffer than with conventional gas oil shock absorbers. However, this is tough, not far outside the comfort zone. Rather, here it is necessary to talk about a certain rally energy intensity. Well, if there is a desire to have such an apparatus, put up with it.